Is Utah a sanctuary state? Yes, yes, we are. Governor Cox claims that Utah has never been a sanctuary state, nor have any of our cities. Sanctuary state doesn't always mean that you don't work with ICE. It means you protect them when they're here. Okay, so let's get into this. Utah, since I think 2009, if I remember correctly, maybe 2010, we offer driving privilege cards to, as it says here, individuals who are unable to establish a lawful presence. So if you are here illegally in our state, we'll give you a driver's license and you can drive. Their excuse is this forces them to have to buy insurance, but I've known people who are here, they're citizens, they're here illegally, and they don't have insurance, but they have a license. Doesn't really prove anything. Phil Lyman posted this graph here. You can kind of see this is what happens when you tell people, hey, you can get a license in Utah. That's 30,000. 30,000 people are getting licenses every year. That's a lot of people driving on our roads that are not supposed to be here. They're here illegally. Okay, let's do the next one. Undocumented children in Utah now qualify for state-funded medical benefits. So if you're in Utah and you're here illegally, your kids will get benefits from the rest of us. We will help make sure your kids are taken care of. Now, I understand this is coming, a little bit from the point of compassion. We want to help make sure that children are taken care of. I think there's other ways to go about this, not by federally taking, or not federally, sorry, not the state taking our money and giving it to other people. This is where I have that problem. It's where I draw the line is you can't just take our money and give it to someone who's also not supposed to be here. They shouldn't be here. The more humane thing to do would be to help the federal government get them out of our country as quickly as possible. The next one here, misdemeanor sentencing timeline clarification. Now, this one doesn't directly affect if you're here illegal, but Utah lowered the time frame. Let's see where it is. From 365 days. Man, I am having a hard time seeing it. My brain is broken, guys. We're reducing it by 1 day to 364 days. This stops the federal trigger, which triggers an automatic deportation to get you out of our country. So if you're here legally and you commit a crime, let's say a DUI or a theft, that's a Class A misdemeanor. If you commit that crime, Utah says, we're going to let you stay here. We're not worried. Personally, I think they need to get out. If you are here legally, it is a privilege to be here. If you break our laws, get out. You shouldn't be here, especially if you're stealing or doing driving under the influence. You should not be in this country. You should get out. Okay, next, we'll go here. To be fair, here we go. They are looking to reverse that. So the same individual who proposed this bill is now proposing to undo that bill to make it easier for us to deport for misdemeanors. So you can see here, here's the bill. They want to make it back to, that's the different one, sorry. I got these out of order, I'm sorry. But they are looking to turn things around, I think. There is at least discussion for it. I want to see more of it. Another way, and I kind of jumped the gun there on that, another way that Utah is a sanctuary state, employer verification amendment. I'm on the wrong one. Let's go to the bill text. So here you can see that the private employers who employ 150, did I mix them up again? I did. All right, so they changed it from 15 to 150. Now they're trying to change it back. It looks like I don't have that one pulled up, so excuse me. But they changed the business's requirement to verify if you are a citizen from 150 or from 15 to 150 back in 2022. So just a few years ago. They're now reversing it. The same individual who proposed the bill originally is now the one coming back and changing it. I think it's because he's getting backlash. He's trying to come up with other reasons, in my opinion. Just saying that E-Verify is better. It's easier now, and it shouldn't be an actual concern. No, I think you got backlash, and people realized, hey, Joe Biden flooded people into this country, and during that time frame, you're like, yeah, let's let illegals work in our country. To be honest, I think Utah needs to go further. We need to go further with our businesses. We need to, if you hire knowingly an illegal immigrant who is in this country, and they are not allowed to work, they need to have criminal charges pressed against them. levy fines, depending on how bad it is. I'm fine if we take their property. They should lose their business for doing business with individuals that should not be here. Americans need jobs. I know lots of Utahns who need jobs. People are struggling, and we need to solve this problem. And I don't think that allowing them. So Utah, we are a sanctuary state. All right, another way we are. Non-resident tuition waivers for undocumented students. If you were here illegally and you went to school in high school for 3 years and you live in Utah, but you're here illegally, we will waive the fee that you normally would pay for being an out-of-state resident. We're just going to let you stay here and allow you to get to college. My understanding is, I got to look into this more, but it's even possible that sometimes they're receiving possible grants or different types of tuitions. They shouldn't be getting any money. They shouldn't be here. I understand that Barack Obama created a problem with the what we refer to as like the dreamers, the DACA individuals, right? We basically created a second-class illegal citizen. Not only are you here illegally, but we can't get rid of you and you can't become a citizen. So we made them effective second-class illegal immigrants with this dreamer situation. I know that people are trying to help make them become citizens, but honestly, you should have just left, in my opinion. Now, I'm sure a few of you probably are assimilated. You probably agree with our values, and there's probably a case to be made that some of you should stay, or at least have the ability to stay. I would like to look into that more and understand it better. But otherwise, like, if you're here and it's not legal, go do the legal thing. Have some moral character here. Go back and come back the right way. Although I understand, again, with DACA, again, second-class illegal immigrants, they're not, if they leave, they're not allowed to come back. So again, with DACA, we can have that conversation. I think there's some nuance there. We kind of really screwed them over, and I'd like to have that conversation. But regardless, we'll get into it. This is the one that makes me the most frustrated and the most mad. So peace officer training qualifications. They removed the requirement to be a United States citizen to become a peace officer in Utah. So non-citizens are going to be allowed to arrest citizens of the United States. I don't care what the other qualifications are. I don't care what else is going on. Other things are easier to lie about. It's really hard to become a U.S. citizen, and I appreciate that. It is a privilege to live here, because this is the greatest country on earth, so it should be a privilege to come here, and it should be hard. And I'm so grateful to everyone that puts in the effort to come here legally. And I love most of those immigrants, at least the ones I've met. But a non-citizen should not have the ability to arrest a citizen in the United States. We're going to go ahead and listen to the... is this the... I can't remember. She's not the senator, is she? She is the senator. We're going to listen to the senator who proposed this bill.
I was... approached a couple of years ago about this piece of legislation, and I think it's the time is now for this. There is no opposition to this piece of legislation. It has been invented by the Criminal Code Task Force that we spoke about, that has 2 more years in place. It's supported by the Statewide Association of Prosecutors and Public Attorneys, the Association of Chiefs. What it is that there is a caveat in the code where a police officer has to be a citizen and a dispatcher.
A caveat?
I've learned to be in the military, you don't have to be a citizen. That's been there for decades. Firefighters in Salt Lake City, they do not have to be citizens, and other entities too. There should be refugees, dreamers, and I think it's the time that we need to put this in place.
I'm going to pause there for a second. She said that because non-citizens can serve in the military, they should be allowed to arrest American citizens. That is not an equivalence. The military isn't utilized against U.S. citizens. The U.S. military serves primarily, their function is supposed to be overseas or the defense of this country. Sometimes they participate as the National Guard, but it is not their job to arrest American citizens. That is not an equivalence. I don't care if the U.S. military allows non-citizens to serve in our military. The military is also extremely structured. They have they have their own system for dealing with court martials and running through their own judiciary system. to keep each other in check and to create some brotherhood and all that, I am more than fine with it. I don't see a problem with non-citizens being able to serve in our military per se, as long as the vast majority of them are still U.S. citizens. But it is different when you say a police officer who arrests American citizens is not a citizen. This is very frustrating me. It makes me very mad. She says there's no opposition to this. Everyone I've asked so far has said that they dislike it. I'm still waiting to hear back from a couple people that might, but so far, everyone who's responded to me, and it's been a good 20 people, and I know that's not a lot, but it's 20 people from different walks of life that are very upset when they heard that this was the case. They were unaware. And now that they're aware, they're going to be contacting and saying, we need to get this overturned. Let's continue.
We had the West Valley chief testify. They want more diversity, and this is a roadblock from that. I have passed out to you an article in the from the Tribune, I think, and it talks about a fellow named Junior Sanchez. He's from Park City, and how he wanted to be a police officer and in Salt Lake.
She's moving to the appeal of emotion, right? She's going to tell a story about someone who wanted to do this, and he's probably a great guy, and he probably deserves to be a cop, but he's not a citizen. He's probably a dreamer, so he's not allowed to be. I'm saddened. It's horrible. The federal government needs to fix the law to deal with these dreamers, these DACA individuals, but you can't just play to my emotions and say, oh, quick, let's burn the Constitution because someone's crying.
In the Park City Police Department, they had a group, like a cadet group, and everybody else that was in this group had their vision to be a police officer, but not him, because his parents were not citizens. He was born here. He was a dreamer. So now, guess where he is? He has his bachelor's degree from the University of Utah. But he got a phone call that this piece of legislation's intact. Hopefully you will support it. His dream can be fulfilled. He's going to come back and be a police officer in Park City. We need more diversity. We need these kind of citizens that want to be.
You just said citizens. These are non-citizens. That's the point. We need citizens to be in charge, not non-citizens, not individuals who are here illegally and shouldn't be here to begin with in some cases. And in other cases, I understand it's probably not going to be the illegals that are getting this, but it's still non-citizens. Maybe they got a green card, maybe they have a visa. They should not be allowed to participate and to arrest citizens of the United States. I also, she obviously keeps using the word diversity. It's the favorite word of the left. The right tends to argue diversity is bad. There is some points to be made with diversity. Diversity of thought, especially in a business setting, tends to be very good. I really liked when I've worked at different corporations, having the ability to ask for a diversity of thought on how to go about how the best decisions I think are made. But I don't want a diversity of thought in our police force. Our police force needs to be based on the values of Americanism. It needs to be based on the values of Utah, and it needs to be based on the laws and codes that we have put in place and enforced. Cops are given discretion on when to arrest and not to arrest. The bigger the city, I think the more likely a police officer is to not care about the person that they're interacting with, right? If you live in a small town and the police officer pulls you over for speeding, he's going to be like, bro, what are you doing here, man? Like, why are you speeding down this road? I don't want to have to talk to your wife on Sunday. Like, get back in your car and drive away. Don't speed again, right? Or they pull over your son and I don't want to have to talk to your dad, man. Can you not do this? Don't be stupid, right? I appreciate that cops have the discretion ability to discern what to do in a given circumstance. But if I don't know the person I'm serving, or if I'm not close to the city in which I serve, that's going to disappear. And you can see it with the biggest cities. That's what's happening with the cops in these bigger cities. And what she is suggesting is that non-citizens, again, legally here, legal residents, but non-citizens are going to be allowed to use their discretion on when to arrest a U.S. citizen. Just let that sink in for a second. That's why there's no equivalence to the military. This is specifically non-citizens being allowed to arrest citizens. I'm very much against this. I don't care how much they believe in America. Let them become a citizen if they want to be a cop. I understand for the DACA and Dreamer, we need to solve that. We need a solution. It's going to have to come from the federal government. I know that the Democrats have tried pushing 2 or 3 different laws over the years to remedy and make them citizens. Again, I think I wouldn't mind some of these individuals becoming citizens. I think we need to do it through a better way than what I've seen in the law asked for so far, but this upsets me. I very much am mad at this bill, and this one makes me the most mad. So there it is. If you disagree with anything I said, please say it in the comments. I'll try to respond. You can reach me on X at Reese J. Crockett. I'll also try to respond there if you're following me, or if you want to, send hate my way or argue with me, I'll try to get into it with you. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.